What's up, everyone? This here is my 1979 xs650 chopper build. It's paired with an 81 xs650 motor. As you can see, it is not finished. It is very roughly mocked up. The main thing that has to be done is the wiring. I have a jumbled mess. I have to make a battery box for it. The taillight is ran, does work. That's not the final product of the wires. I do plan on running them through the frame. Now, I do have the headlight mounted exactly where I want it. That is wired in exactly how I want it as well. We have the wires tucked all up into the head part of the frame, and they come out and then tied in to the handlebars. And then they come out right up here and then tie into the brake switch. Gives it that nice clean look. I'm trying to go as minimalistic as possible with this build. The mission for this video will be running the rear brakes. So I have to connect that brake pedal to the drum brakes in the rear. And over here I have threaded rods with sleeves from TC Bros. I do have the lever because, also from TC Bros, when you push this pedal, it is going to push the rod back. But the way the brakes work is they have to be pulled forward. So I can't have that pushing something that needs to be pulled. So what this will do is when you push against here, it'll pull up here. So I'm going to connect the threaded rod from the brake lever to the bottom portion of the, whatever you want to call this, and then that rod there will connect to the top here, so that when I push it, it pulls and actually stops. And then I do have some hardware over here. First things first, I'm going to have to clean up this portion of the frame. I had a bolt tacked here for mocking purposes, and I never cleaned it fully up, so I'm going to clean that off, clean up some of this rust, knock down some of the welds a little bit so everything sits better, so that way we can tack up that new lever, the tab for the spring, and then we can mock up the rod, and hopefully we'll have brakes. Alright, now that we got it all cleaned up, we can mock up our little lever, get that tacked in place, and then see how that fits and how the rod's going to fit. And just like that, she is on there. I did have some difficulties with the first tack, but that's alright. These tacks are not permanent. This is just to get everything mocked up and ran. And then I do have a better welder to go through and actually weld it on with. But look at that. I'd say it's lined up pretty good. But let's get this bolted on and then see where we're at with the threaded rod. Alright, we did get the rear brake ran to the lever. I am going to have to do some small adjustments. I did have to adjust the rear brake lever forward a little bit. I'm going to have to make more adjustments, but that can wait till later. So now we're going to mock up this rod. So for the rod, we're using all thread and this sleeve to kind of clean it up. And then we're going to be putting these on the ends, so that can go in there, maybe. Yeah, just like that. But then it still has some room because I don't think these are perfectly lined up. So this might have to come out a little, and that's why we have the jointed ones. check that out. Everything is all mocked up. Now, I do not know if this is where I'm going to want my foot. Luckily, these are threaded, so they are adjustable. Now, the sleeve isn't long enough to fully cover everything, which is honestly okay with me, because to do adjustments, it would be nice to have this extra thread on both sides. So what I think I'm going to do is split the difference and then tack it in place so it covers the majority of it, and then that way it's not sitting here sliding back and forth while we're riding. But before any of that, I guess we got to see if this thing works. Is it doing anything? I think. Let's see. Oh, look at that. That's moving. Well, I'm a little shaky, but she is moving. Let me set this up and then see if it actually stops the tire. Alright, let's see. No, it does not. Alright, so I went ahead and I tightened all the bolts, so nothing's loose now, because I figured that's not helping with the adjustment. I also forgot that we're supposed to weld a plate here with a spring to help keep this forward, or sorry, back, I guess, like that. So we're gonna go ahead and do that before we continue adjusting, because I guess that there's really no point in adjusting it if we have to go back through and tighten everything. So we're gonna weld that plate in. I did already tighten everything, so let's get that welded in, the spring ran, and then we can adjust. So I don't think the machine that I'm using can tack the absolute greatest, and I'm worried about once there's actual pressure on here, that's gonna pop the tacks. It already did pop one, I had to re-tack it, as you saw. So as much as I hate to do this, I think I'm going to weld this in now. And then later on, when I go to weld everything else solid, I'll go over it. Because right now, I'm just using this rinky-dink Harbor Freight flux core, no gas. It's horrible, but it's good for just tacking, just not in this case. So I'm gonna run a weld on it. It's gonna look horrible, don't judge, but I promise I will go over it later on, and I'm sure you'll see that at some point in the future. So just hold on, let me get this welded on, and then we can go back to getting this all working, and then hopefully that is it. I know, it looks horrible. Trust me, I'm not happy with it either. I weld for a living. That's disgusting. That's gonna make you guys think I don't weld for a living. Trust me, wait till after everything's mocked up and I go around and I fully weld this stuff properly. I'll show you then. But anyways, let me just make this bucket. That should be that. Let's just test it. We might have some stuff a little too tight. But yeah, look at that. Now, I don't think the tire stops. I don't think just tightening some stuff up fixed it. No, it didn't. So we're gonna go back to adjusting. Maybe move this lever some more. Actually, it has this sweet little dial on it. You can tell it's supposed to be like here to start. to show you your brake pad life, and then, but that's where it needs to be to stop, as you just saw. So we're gonna adjust it to like here. So we'll bring the lever forward some, give it some more adjustment, and hopefully it works. Alright, so I think that did it. Ooh, let's see. Oh, look at that. We have working brakes. Working rear brakes. That is awesome. Now last thing to do, see how this pedal feels. Honestly, not bad. I kind of like, oh, don't lean too far back. I kind of like how it feels. This is definitely going to be a fun bike to ride. I'm super excited. Now, we still have to mock up shifter. But I'm going to leave that up to you guys. If anyone watches this video, do we run the foot shifter and the hand clutch? Or do we run a suicide clutch and a jockey shifter? Or, now hear me out, the jockey shifter with the clutch on it. Comes up to here, we'll eliminate that pedal altogether. So this foot does nothing, just sits here. And then it'll be like here. And then you just pull it in, click it. Kind of like a ratchet shifter in a car almost, if that makes sense. But I'll leave that up to you guys. If anyone's even watching this video, we'll see. I don't know. Kind of just doing this stuff for me. I'm sure there'll be people hating, but I like how it came out. I'm excited. Has to get fully welded still, but I love how it mocked up. Maybe adjust it a tiny bit. It is a little tall, but nothing too crazy. It actually doesn't feel too bad. But if anyone is watching this, I appreciate it. I mean, hopefully you got some kind of entertainment out of it. I don't know. I spend every day in this garage anyway, so I figured why not try and make a video out of it. Maybe someone will get some entertainment out of it. But I appreciate it if you are watching, and if you want to continue to see videos on this bike and watch it come to life, let me know down in the comments, and I appreciate it. You guys have a good rest of your day.